to artificial intelligence computers.
Yeah, like I said,
They don't have to worry about the melody. Oh, they still melody.
Like somebody like Justin Bieber, you know, now, this is a guy right here that actually gets to the point where, like you said,
extract
it's
melody.
not
You saying they can extract melanin from a clone?
It's all
They can
crossing over, it's
extract
like
it from
basically
humans.
Okay.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be
right.
somewhere in the radio is gonna be pop.
It's possible that that's
Pop music,
what happened to
pop
Mike
music.
as well.
But going to, go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I mean, like I said, I was gonna talk over. I was saying like what you were saying about, you know, the music based much, you know, it's not our culture no more, because I was saying that all the music right now is gonna eventually merge together into one, which I call pop music, unless they got a different name. Because think about it right now, Justin Bieber is he's really accepted into what you want to call the hip hop community.
Yeah.
He's doing it because last time I seen the Floyd Mayweather fight, he's with Mayweather, Lil Wayne, you know, when he was coming out, and then
Well, they made that go on. You got to realize most of the blacks, the ushers, and all of them, they were put up to, you know, be associated with Justin Bieber, so that we can connect ourselves to Justin Bieber.
You just said
That was
to
them.
usher in a new.
Usher.
But
But that's exactly what happened. The thing is with the music now, music changed socially because a lot of the producers, they started producing white artists. So they began to leave the black artists. And one of the main people who left black music was like in this time period, in the last 10 years or so, was Usher. You notice like the last two of his albums really, they weren't R&B, as we keep talking about. That was those were pop songs, pop music. And he decided to go over to that route. So you're seeing a lot of black artists starting to do the same thing. So what happened? It became a gap in R&B. So then you have the Justin Timberlakes and the Robin Thicke and the Biebers. They now become R&B artists.
Soul singers.
And you the other
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, but then you have the white rapper now, not Eminem.
I was saying, wait. Macklemore.
Macklemore.
Right.
Macklemore, because a lot of the rappers now, most of the rappers now, the black rappers, they're basically mimicking what's going on in terms of the sound, the frequency is different.
Right,
It's totally different from the beat to dealing with a synthesizer coming in, because everything now has been sped up. They sped up the sound, they sped up the frequency. So you're dealing with the Macklemores now. He can come in and win a rap Grammy, because I can't take a black artist, a black rap artist, and connect it to him, because it's a totally different frequency. So the white
Same with Eminem. If you remember, in 2001, Eminem, I think he was probably the first hip hop artist to win the MTV Awards, the main one.
Right.
So yeah, you were saying you're definitely right about that. It's funny because, you know, like I said, they got to bring somebody Caucasoid in. For them now, that's official. It's a Caucasoid in, and he's doing it. Then you officially have crossed over.
Yeah.
And not only he's just another artist, he's actually considered one of the best.
He's considered now becomes in the arguments, he becomes the best.
Right.
They can push out the Rakims, the Karas, the ones and Nas and Tupacs, and they can replace them with an Eminem. They can push out the Jaheems, they can push out the Maxwells, the Music Soul Childs, and replace them with
Robin Thicke,
Justin Timberlake, and Bieber.
Yeah.
And you can hear the females all the way gone, like Rihanna, Beyonce.
Yeah.
When they sing, they sound like Caucasian girls.
Yeah, they sound and look like them.
Sound and look like them.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. Even the words that they say, the subject matter is the same.
Frequency means something. Frequency means something.
I'm sorry. I really don't remember this guy's names. He's a new artist, and he's from over there in Europe. But he is like Robin Thicke. His sound is like a Robin Thicke sound too, because they advertised him on TV the other day, saying that they sell his music at Target. But yeah, he sounds like one of those white soul singers, as they say.
Yeah, you take everyone has to be. Everything is one world system. So everyone has to be under. If it's a genre, they have to merge the genre to make it one genre. Like you said, the genre now is just pop. You know, in religion, the religion is now just Christianity. So in the music industry, everything is under one frequency. If you don't fall in that frequency, you don't get your record played, so you fall right to the bottom. And that's exactly how they set it up. The Blue Bloods have set it up over the years. But I want to get into this. I want to just, before I go into the protection, the whole thing is about protection for our youth. How is culture established, and how do we maintain culture? How do you maintain culture? Culture is maintained based upon what you establish. So if I say, what is our culture dress for Black Americans right now? Can anyone give me an example?
Okay, first off, baggy pants.
Caucasian.
Went through this baggy pants.
Right, yeah, baggy pants. I hate to say it, I put that for last. I like to say loose fit jeans and then skinny jeans.
Yeah. Loose fit and skinny.
Yeah.
It'll be loose fit or you tight sometimes.
Yeah,
Loose
tight.
fit.
Skinny pants.
Well, I give you something like loose fit basically much. I may say the wrong thing, but like the pants you wear, it's not baggy, but it's not skinny. You know, I don't know what they call them, normal jeans or whatever.
Then they boot cut. Skinny jeans. Yeah, skinny jeans. Right. Skinny jeans. Right.
Awesome. Cascada jeans.
Yeah, that. Okay. Language. What is our language?
English and Ebonics.
English Ebonics.
English, which is like, let's say I'm just do a slash, so it's really
Ebonics.
not even an added as Ebonics. So, wow, that's ridiculous. Religion.
Christianity.
I love Jesus.
Christianity and Islam.
Because you believe in Christianity, bro.
Oh man,
You believe it. We'll die for it. We'll fight you for it.
Yep, you wouldn't.
man, you know, my mom actually said somebody, a
Stick.
reverend Bonson going to ask, like, if it comes down to it, and people say, we need to put your son on the cross to die for us, since would you do it? I'm like, who asked you that dumb ass question?
Name. What is the name about people?
English flames.
Negroes. No, I'm gonna say niggas.
Like
niggas
black.
first.
Nigga.
Yeah, nigga.
Oh.
Nigga.
Niggas.
Yeah.
We niggas.
Niggas.
Because any black person, they have no problem with me if I say nigga please. I could say nigga please and there won't be no problem with that.
I almost say bitch too.
Yeah, you
Oh,
say
bitch.
nigga.
Bitch.
Oh, yeah,
Females call each other bitches now.
Yeah.
Instead of saying that's my best friend, oh, that's my bitch.
Damn.
Wow. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Food, pork.
Soul food.
Pork.
Soul food.
It's the summertime.
Ribs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drinking soda.
Chicken
eating,
wings.
Just say eating. I'll say
What's the
pork
pig
bacon
that's
sandwich.
called?
Or just meat.
The guts and the
What's
pig.
the pig that's called?
Chitlins.
Chitlins.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Meat.
You know, so when I was younger and
Some
I
of
had
the
to
things
eat
we've
that,
done, man.
I
so
figured
we
I
get older.
was saying what it was. I said, man, which kind of pig? I'm like, which part of the pig? You know, the intestines. I said,
The
wow.
rooter to the tooth.
Everything fried. You put fried, right?
Yeah, everything
You take
fried.
All these things, how is this as a culture going to establish or going to push out any type of influence? This can be penetrated. Any of this.
I'm surprised we survived all this.
Because, I mean, think about it like this. All this is based on influence.
Right.
It's not based on,
That's
like,
where it all comes from.
yeah, this is influence. This is not culture. This is, if I just defined it, it's really influence.
It is because from the bottom block and go right down to the bottom. Everybody knows why we eat food like that through
Right.
slavery. Everybody knows the name which
Slavery.
came from slavery,
Slavery.
Christianity,
Slavery,
language,
colonialism.
baggy pants and skinny jeans. Why I say this is kind of a new thing.
Biggest influence, you say slavery.
Right.
Bondage.
That's it.
Right.
They say bondage. So, does this really count as a culture?
No, it would be a subculture.
It'll be a subculture. So, you just put subculture. You can't say culture because, again, culture will keep you in due bounds and won't allow your kids to wear skinny jeans. They won't allow your kids to talk like Ebonics. They won't allow you to even allow Christianity into the situation. Because Christianity is something that happened based upon war. You know, it's based upon bondage. So at some point, your culture was taken away. So how can it be a legitimate culture if it was based on being forced into something? So if I say the name nigga, nigga is, as we say now, is used as a term of endearment, but if I take the original definition of the word nigger, the way that Portuguese began to use it, that was to mean that you were less than human. So you're basically calling yourself, from a slang term, a less than human person.
Right.
So if I go down to food, soul food is slave food.
Exactly.
So all of this, it just encompasses subculture, but it encompasses bondage. So as a people, you have no real protection because they've already influenced you in every facet of life.
And you know what I noticed in these some of these fake movies with, you know, all the movies are fake because they acting.
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes when they put the crackers in them and they try to make a little funny scene,
Yeah.
they try to, like for instance, here's a movie that we all probably seen on BET, Soul Plane. You remember the little white boy? You know what I'm saying?
Acting.
They try to put him in his
He's
big
perfected it.
big jeans, chains.
Yeah,
You probably could have
black.
put that on the
That's
culture
what-
as chains.
Chains.
And that's why I stopped wearing them because I started like, oh, it's a chain around my neck.
Yeah.
I was stop wearing this jewelry.
Bondage chains.
And see, and then that's another thing too about this subculture. Notice every single race can actually come in and live a subculture, and I'm saying, and most of the Negroes will not have a problem with it. Think about it. I mean, we have had rappers or people who have acted black, from whites to Hispanics to Asians to Indians, and guess what? A lot of people do not put up a fight to. They basically was saying welcome people to live how the way they live.
But just look at it like this. You can take any other culture other than us. You take Asian culture,
It's gonna be more positive.
you take the Indians, I'm talking East Indian. You can take Latinos, all three of them we bite off of as a people. Asian, if we're conscious, at some point we take on yoga and we take on some type of Buddhist type of situation, right?
Just to get more spiritual.
Just to get more spiritual. What's funny is that we won't go into Comitian yoga, but we make sure we go into Asian yoga, right? When you deal with the Indians, East Indians, you take their hair.
I was about to say their hair. That's the first thing.
You know, we taking the hair from them
Buying that air.
on in droves. When you deal with Latinos, you got blacks right now that will sit up here and will claim that they got some Latin blood in them. They can speak a little Spanish. That's any way they can to separate themselves from who they really are.
Who they really are.
Look at the first people dancing, sick of them out of the parade.
Language. They wanna speak. Black people would rather speak a Latin language before they'll incorporate or create an African language for themselves.
True.
That's sleep. That's a sleep mindset. A black person would rather worship Buddha before they worship Imhotep. That's sleep. They would rather put Indian hair than use the hair that the ancestors blessed them with. That's sleep. This shows that and I'm not even dealing with Caucasoids. You're dealing with sub races of people that can penetrate the original race. That shows how weak. That shows how weak you are.
That's right.
So if I'm going into protection, let's say I take protection to this level. You got Trayvon Martin, you got Jordan Davis. Two of our young child, they just got shot really honestly for no apparent reason. You're dealing with something that every race can sit here and, as I said 2 years ago, Trayvon Martin was a measuring stick. It's like, let's say you stop your car and you think that there's not enough oil in your car. So you take the stick and you put it in, you know how you do it. You see how much oil is in there? They did that to us. When they shot him, that's exactly what they did.
And then you see how much they can get away with killing us.
Right.
Yeah.
What's our reaction gonna be?
Yeah.
So you take Jordan Davis, they already knew what we were gonna do. We were either in their mind, as racism, white supremacy is trying to continually evolve, because the system of racism is still trying to evolve and just become a machine, not just individuals, but just a machine. What they do is, the white guy that did Michael Dunn, whatever his name is, he just did it. That's why you see the mug shots, he has a smirk on his face. It's a look like
Zimmerman too.
they all had.
Yeah,
the look.
all had that look.
They know
Laugh because they
that,
knew they got away with it.
and they know that we won't say anything. We were just talking about that, right?
Yeah.
About, the Mexicans, okay, no offense towards them, when we're speaking, they know that we won't stick together. In fact, it's like this. What the boys over at that school, when the Mexican boy stabbed that boy?
Yeah.
Is that one of his names that you just said?
No, I'm not.
No, but you know when they stabbed that boy out there at Spring? They mess with us because they know we don't stick together now. In fact, they know that older black males would rather go get a young Hispanic boy than go get one of his own because he already know his own is trifling. See?
That's true.
So they do us like that, and they know, like you said, the measuring stick. Now they're gonna try us as a whole now. It's going to spot different things and then different individuals that's supposed to spot.
You gotta like just look at it like this. You just said spark. Spark creates reaction. Reaction is inaction.
Right.
What was the reaction of Trayvon Martin's family when everything went down? What was their reactions? The reactions, even after the trial, what was their reactions?
Passive.
Kind of passive, yeah.
Passive,
It
they
was
did
kind of
what?
passive.
They started going off the Jesus stuff.
They went to pray,
Yeah.
prayer,
We're gonna let God handle this.
forgiveness.
Sound like, what's that boy name who got beat up on the side of the highway?
I would say Rodney King.
Yeah.
Let's
We all just get along.
You know what? I'll just bring it right here.
I wonder if my mother would have came out and said, we need to do something. You know what I'm
But you know what?
saying? They didn't do that.
But you know what though? One thing I noticed, like you said, Rodney King.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have, if that would have happened to you, what was the first thing you would have done? I would have got on TV and said, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. Something needs to be done. If nothing gets done right now, we need to go to the
See,
street.
because it happens to, I realize if a black man killed a white child, he wouldn't go to trial. He probably would, of course, he go to trial. They'll give him due process.
If they protect him from the Clan.
Right.
But
Of course.
you know what I think happens though? I think when one of our brothers like Trayvon Martin or Jordan Davis get killed, or even what happened with Rodney King, I think they know that black people get mad, so white people say we need to get one of their leaders. They're not a leader of ours.
Right.
Well, to the masses, they say, who's always there? What's the dude from New York? Sharp.
Sharp.
They always send Sharpton in some shit. But Sharpton gonna come with that passive shit.
Yeah,
and he talked to them before they go to the media. He consoled them and Jesse Jackson.
Well, he's in the pocket.
Yeah.
He's in the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what?
Let me finish. He's in the pocket in terms of Sharpton and the Jacksons and all that because he's in the house. The mentality of a lot of blacks, that's the reason why they say forgiveness and prayer is because mentally, if I rebel and if I really protect, then I'm basically going against my privilege of even allowed to even live with these people. Because the thing is, I don't want to be fully black anymore. I want to be black and white. So I want to I want to say I'm black, but I want to live amongst white folks. Because Trayvon Martin's father was living with white folks. The thing is that, remember at that time of night, they looked at it like, that's why if you notice most of the time after a while, they were saying he's outside too late. So that was black people saying this after a while. So they were basically giving an excuse for his own death. So majority of blacks still have the civil rights mindset of let's pray about it, we'll walk for a little bit, let's give these niggas something to be happy about, and let's go back and do what we've been doing. Because the leadership now is different than what it was with the Malcolms, Martins, the Garveys, the Joe Ali's, and my father out New York. It's fear. It's fear of retribution, it's fear of response. So when in terms of protection,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you got an opinion, or maybe just because he don't really say too much now, I'm looking up in age. How come when something happened like to Trayvon, or if you brothers, sisters can correct me wrong, how come like Farrakhan don't say nothing? I'm not NOI, but I know for the most part Farrakhan he'd be more righteous for what's really going on. What you gotta say? What you say? He going down?
or you think he's? I think that's a signal for in the pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
in the pocket too?
Well, I think
Yeah.
he said something,
Yeah.
but it wasn't to the degree of this is what we need to do. We need some action behind it. He just gave an example. But you gotta realize that Farrakhan has been working with the CIA for years.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. He's been connected to the CIA since the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, really?
You know, and it's, we do our best to be cordial about it, but that's the reality. Because it explains to me how
So you're agent.
40 years after, at least 30-some years after the death of Malcolm X, then you feel comfortable with coming out saying you put the energy out there for Malcolm's death. So certain people are not going to make certain statements. Khalid Muhammad, if he was out, they probably wouldn't even have had no Trayvon Martin, I mean, they probably wouldn't have no trial. There would have been some type of action behind it. So if I'm just giving